Welcome to the Puff and Run Podcast Show, your number one source for news and information about marijuana and running, the latest updates on the 420 cross country team, and races around the nation, and behind the scenes details on the Puff and Run TV web series production schedule. Bringing you all and more, here's your host, the Vegas 420 Runner.
Welcome to the Puff and Run Podcast Show. I am your host, the Vegas 420 Runner, and this is episode 1 of the Puff and Run Podcast Show. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me, and welcome to the show. Again, my name is the Vegas 420 Runner. I am a cannabis user, and I am also an ultra marathoner and triathlete. And in this season of the Puff and Run Podcast Show, Season 1, we are going to be covering so many different things. And this first episode is just to kind of bring you guys up to speed. And I'm really just trying to bring the audience up to this present point in time. So, all right, here's how we're going to do this. This episode, I'm just going to run down the short-term schedule for the show, maybe the first 5 to 10 episodes, just to kind of give you guys an overview of where we're heading to, and also give you a little bit of background on each of the episodes, the upcoming episode topics, and kind of just lay out this initial formatting of the show. Again, this is my first episode, so I'm still getting the hang of the whole podcast thing. So as I said before, this first episode is just kind of like an overview, and I will get into the overview part here shortly. Now, in episode 2, I plan to talk all about how I became the Vegas 420 runner, from beginning to end, from my very first 5K to my most recent 50-mile ultra marathon. And it's going to let everybody know exactly who I am in the running world and what type of credentials and accolades I've received thus far. Episode 3, we hope to cover more about the 420 cross-country team. It's a team that's just getting launched this year, 2017, and we got a lot of big things going on this year. We just took home 2 big first-place age group finishes in the Vortex Half Marathon up in Portland, Oregon, and we'll be talking more about that later on, a couple of episodes down the line. All right, now in episode 4, that's when I plan to talk all about the Puff and Run podcast, the Puff and Run web series, the Puff and Run TV web series. We are still in production for the web series, and this show is actually supposed to be a weekly show, and once the weekly format gets kicked off mid-April, we plan to be a weekly show that covers behind-the-scenes production updates of the web series. Now, the web series is only going to have 1 or 2 episodes per month. That doesn't include any, short vlogs or any other regular YouTube videos I do personally as the Vegas 420 Runner. Not including that, but the Puff and Run web series should have about 1 to 2 episodes per month. At this time, we want to have more, but we're working with a limited budget, so we're looking at 1 or 2 episodes per month, kind of documenting what we do as the 420 cross country team and what I do as the Vegas 420 runner throughout the month. So the podcast will be featuring behind the scenes updates. If there's any races or film festivals that get added to our schedule, we'll let you know, or if anything gets scratched from the schedule, we'll let you know that it got scratched and why. Hopefully nothing will get scratched. We do have a pretty aggressive schedule this year. If you are a fan, you may have had a chance to see some of it. We haven't released the whole thing at this point, but we do have several international cannabis conferences. At this time, those remain tentative. There's no guarantee, but we definitely have them on the schedule, and we definitely continue planning to attend. All right. And then from there, we're going to, I guess, episode 5 and 6. Hopefully, these are on the schedule, but there's no guarantee because these will actually feature special guest co-hosts. So in episode 5 and 6, not in this order, not in any particular order, we plan to we plan to invite a UNLV student, member of the Students for Sensible Drug Policy student organization, onto the podcast to discuss the recent Students for Sensible Drug Policy annual gathering in Portland, Oregon. I had the pleasure of attending, and I must say, I had a hell of a time. Definitely one of the best conferences I've ever been to, and I learned so much. I brought in my network, and my overall experience was just through the roof. My hat goes off to Students for Sensible Drug Policy. They really know how to put together a conference. So hopefully that'll be episode 5 or 6, and then the other episode will be speaking with 420 cross country teammate Simon Anderson. Recently, while up in Portland for the SSDP annual conference, I had the pleasure of competing in the Vortex Half Marathon. Myself and my female teammate Simon Anderson, we both took first place in our age divisions, and hopefully we'll have her stop by to kind of give a review of the race and the course and of the weekend and of the time we spent together, and also talk about her upcoming 100-mile race in Utah. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. So basically you guys got a sneak peek of episodes 5 through 6, and then from there we'll give you guys a few updates. And basically, I think by that point, after I tell you exactly who I am as the Vegas 420 runner, tell you about 420 cross country, tell you about the Puff and Run podcast show, and everything that went on in Portland, I think at about that time you guys will be pretty much brought up to speed. One episode that I didn't mention, it's probably going to be mixed in throughout, is Redefine Cannabis and the public relations firm, redefinecannabis.com, and how I got involved with public relations in the cannabis industry. As you guys can see, we've got a lot going on, and we got a very exciting schedule for you guys this season. The Puff and Run podcast show, we plan to be broadcasting from all over the country and hopefully all over the world. Just to let you guys know how long it's been in the making. For the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about what my intention, when I came up with this show. Let me just talk about that. The show's only going to be about 20 minutes, so just bear with me. And I have been working, doing all the things I've just recently told you guys about with the running and the public relations. I've been doing that for some time now, a couple of years. And at the end of 2016, we began planning out the 420 cross country team. And one of the things that we wanted to incorporate was a web series. Last year, I managed to get a significant amount of footage and photographs with my races and stuff, but I wasn't able to post them in a timely manner. So if you go look at my YouTube, you can see that some of all my footage from last year's race season all went up around the same time, but significantly after the race had taken place. So this year, one of our goals is to be able to curate the content and upload, edited footage uh, the week after races. So that's something I'm really going to be trying to stick to. And I had a pretty aggressive schedule with the web series. Now, video content takes a little bit more time for me to edit, and I like to sit down and get everything right. And so, even by this point, I got a significant amount of footage in the can from 2017. So, basically, I wanted to launch the first episode of the web series early February. I didn't really have that much stuff on the schedule for January. I just had some warm up stuff. The I had a half marathon, the Hoover Dam half marathon, and the Las Vegas Tri Club kickoff party. I had both of those on my schedule for early January. They both got scratched. They just wasn't in the budget. I depend on. I'm a college student. I'm studying for my master's degree. I'll get more into that in a future episode. But I do depend on a lot of my financial aid to pay for my racing and things of that nature. And I hadn't received my financial aid by mid-January, so I wasn't able to attend those two particular events. The first event on my schedule that really kicked off the year was the Welcome Back Week at UNLV when I was just raising awareness on campus, and we got some footage of that we'll get into, probably a clip of that on the web series. So nothing really big went on in January. I didn't really have anything on the schedule. School was just starting at the end of that month, and really most of January was focused on just having everything ironed out smoothly for my transition into the spring semester. Okay, so next February comes around, and we've got two events on our schedule. This is now this is going more into the schedule of the year, which I plan to do later. Basically, what I'm saying is this about the Puff and Run podcast. Puff and Run web series and how it turned into the podcast. Well, because the web series wasn't getting off as quickly as I had hoped, but meanwhile, major developments were taking place every week. I felt like the audience needed to be kept up to speed on what was going on. I felt really bad that I wasn't able to edit the video and photo material in a timely manner. And one of my colleagues, Mr. Run to Improve, a.k.a. Josu Santos, a.k.a. Sway, a.k.a. Swizzy, he had been telling me about a podcast he was doing. He's putting together the Run to Improve podcast show. As a matter of fact, yours truly, the Vegas 420 runner, was the first episode on the Run to Improve podcast. Was the first guest. I was the very first guest on the Run to Improve podcast show. If you're listening to this, I do plan to put the link to that podcast show in the somewhere around this footage below in the comments or something. But anyways, he had me on his show, and I heard his introduction. I saw his show. We did a nice little interview, and he edited it up, chopped it up to fit the formatting of his show and to fit his time constraints. And when I listened to it, I was really pleased. As a matter of fact, I was blown away. And I started thinking, maybe I'll do this podcast show. I didn't really put much thought into it because I was focused on the web series. And then a couple weeks later, I was in class, and one of my professors started talking about podcasting, and he's thinking about putting together a podcast class for the fall semester. And he started going over some popular podcasts that he found and explaining why he liked it and things like that. And I went home, I got on YouTube, I started looking up the best podcast hosting websites and stuff, and trying to figure out all this. When I started looking up the best podcasting sites, I started finding podcast hosting sites. I started finding videos about how to make money through podcasting and stuff. And of course, I don't think I'm going to get rich and famous off this, not right away at least. And I'm not necessarily in this for the money. However, I am signed up to Patreon, but I have 0 patrons and have made $0. And I do have a website, and I like to make videos, photos, other content. I plan on doing a crowdsourcing, a GoFundMe later this year, as well as in addition to the GoFundMe and the other popular one, whichever one that is, I can't recall it right now. But multiple crowdsourcing for different projects, and so I thought this could be a good something easy that I can do. Not easy, but just kind of, easier than the editing all these videos and whatnot. And this is also going to be more accessible, for people that just want to kind of listen to something. Anyways, I just want to remind you guys this show is basically going to be all about the 420 cross country team. Our schedule is going to be about me, the Vegas 420 runner, as I try to put together the 420 cross country team, and as I try to produce the Puff and Run TV web series. This show is also going to touch on awesome things going on in cannabis and athletics, like the 420 games, Canna Fitness. I want to also give a shout out to MJ Fitnut. They're doing their thing with cannabis and running. And we're also going to be talking to, hopefully, professional athletes like my main man, Avery Collins. I plan to travel over to France with him in August, but I'm definitely going to need the support of all my listening audience in order to pull that off. And even if it's just by sharing this content to just let others know what we're out here, what we're doing, and what we're all about, that'll I'll even be grateful for that. But anyways, we hope to have Avery chime in. I hope to meet up with them later this year. And so basically these are going to be about 20 to 30-minute podcast episodes. And we are going to sometimes have special guest co-hosts. We're going to have special guests that we bring on and we interview them. And we also want to be able to just answer any questions that people have that they leave in the comments. Eventually down the line, let's say hopefully maybe in the fall or something or in the future, I hope to start recording these episodes live. That way I can engage with the audience and things like that. So anyways, that's just a brief overview of what this season will be like, season 1 of the Puff and Run podcast show. I hope I wasn't too far all over the map, and I hope you guys decide to tune in this season. We got a lot of great things coming up for you, and don't forget, if you want to find out more, don't forget you can chime into www.420crosscountry.org to join the team. All you got to do is buy a hat or a shirt, and you're on the team, official member of the team. And then we have other membership levels also as well that come with different benefits. And if you just want to know more about everything in general, go to www.redefinecannabis.com to find out about all the different projects we have. That website is currently under construction, but I encourage you to go take a look anyhow. We got a lot of big things coming up this year. We got 3 main schedules that we'll be talking about. Basically, the running or the racing schedule. That's one schedule. The Cannabis Conference, Cannabis Festival schedule. That's another schedule. And then the Film Festival schedule. We got a lot of video. We got several video projects, but a few of them are currently being submitted to film festivals around the world. Runners High and 40. I'm not going to say the other one's title just because it's still being trademarked. But anyways, copyrighted, etc. So yeah, those are our 3 main schedules. Those are our main websites, redefinecannabis.com, 420crosscountry.org. I hope you guys go check them out. And I, your host, am known as the Vegas 420 Runner. You can find me at Vegas 420 Runner on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, this is the Puff and Run podcast show, and I hope you guys tune into the next episode. Thanks.